What's going on, Internet? Today's Art Tip Tuesday is all about breaking through the numbers game. I had a great conversation with my friend Justin Anthony from Artwork Archive, and we went over a plethora of topics, but today's topic, we're going to talk about just breaking through the numbers game to get to where you want to be. A lot of times it's a numbers game. Why is it a numbers game? Well, because sometimes there's a huge application pool when you're applying to a school or a residency or a project or an open call for a public art project. So it's like, oh, so your chances of getting accepted or awarded goes down versus a pool of applications that may be 50 people versus 1,000. So sometimes it's just a numbers game, or sometimes it's like the makeup of the jury.
But you can also game the numbers game. One of the things you get into is those relationships you make. You don't know who's going to be sitting on those boards. You don't know who's going to be evaluating that grant application. If someone's applying for a job with our company and we get stacks of resumes and nothing sticks out, there's no personal connection, no one's doing anything to set themselves apart, it ends up sitting on the stack. Whereas finding ways to kind of differentiate yourself, finding ways to make those personal inroads goes a long way into differentiating you from the thousands of other candidates. Continuing on the non-traditional side, what are some of the things you've found most successful that fall outside the traditional gallery as far as tactics for getting noticed and things like that?
Yeah, well, a lot of times one of the things that really, I think, sort of separated me was the venture into street art. A lot of times when we're sort of focused on galleries, well, that's one specific square footage on one specific block in one specific area of town. But when you're able to sort of say, hey, I want to do artwork in the public eye. So now I'm not only getting people that sort of just love my work, it's like people that just pass by on the street at all times. So the street art really, really helped out a lot when it came to sort of getting my work out there. And then when I had work in different spaces, people sort of were saying, hey, I saw this piece, this style on the wall there, it's the same artist, and I see it over in this part of town. So now it's like that footprint sort of made an impression with that individual that was a lot more grander than just being in one singular place.
And what's interesting is most people go the opposite direction. Usually you see kids that come up through street art transitioning into the gallery world versus someone with maybe a more formal background transitioning into street art and finding it turn into a vehicle of getting them noticed, getting them commissions,
Yeah, I mean, now it's like you can go both ways. And I've seen a lot of art that are just super traditional venture into the street art realm and figure out ways of sort of communicating their style and their voice and what they want to say onto a larger platform. It doesn't have to be painting. It's like the Fancy Ladies Society, like they knit, and basically
one of their first pieces is up on one of my bars in Rhino, the monster guy.
Seeing that is like that.
What's her name? I can't remember their name.
Yeah, it's like that medium in a public space is so different that it just stands out a lot. And if I only saw that in a gallery, I would have a different sort of perception of their work. But now that because
you see it in a different context.
Yeah, in a different context, like this is sort of like the I wouldn't say the highbrow, but it's like mainly just gallery work. But now that I see their work in the street and then on here and then installations with the Blue Bear downtown, it's like their sort of medium and sort of message just is like all encompassing for me. It's like now it's more of relatable to me.